I could not differentiate the sweat from the tears flowing down my face as I sat warming the bench for 32 minutes of my 40-minute basketball game. That particular weekend, my father, aka my personal coach, and I had taken the 3-hour trip from Austin to Dallas. We would stuff the car full of every gas station store snack imaginable to make this trip there. There in Dallas, the home of the Cowboys, we would play in one of the largest summer league basketball tournaments in the state of Texas. And this basketball tournament was so important because I needed to prove to college recruiters that I had the basketball IQ, the court vision, and the ball handling skills in order to play Division I and not just small town ball. So, with a belly full of flaming hot Doritos, I would arrive at the basketball court for the game in Dallas. The smell of antiperspirant and anticipation filled the air. College coaches slowly started to line up to watch the games with the best prospects. The crowds would be roaring, parents would be screaming at the referees, and I, in it all, would end up taking a seat on the bench instead of playing. And that was a new feeling. Being a bench warmer, unnecessary. I was like the pinky toe of a foot, a part of the team, but often forgotten. You see, I was one of the highest scoring players on my school team that year. Yeah, that was me. But during my summer league competitions, with competition from across the state and sometimes the nation, I was now just meh. So instead of trying to improve or show my new coach how good of a player I was, I was going to quit. Yes, quit. Well, rather, I took the skill set that I had in basketball and I moved them into a new endeavor, one that required a lot more memorizing, but a lot less sweating. High school theater. And you would be surprised by the parallels between fine arts and athletics. Instead of having a coach in basketball, I had a director in theater. The concept of stage fright or not being able to perform as well in front of an audience still held true for both basketball and theater. But after being a theater kid for about a year, the dichotomy between the two activities revealed the biggest obstacle that I had in being successful in the sports world. It was the differentiating factor in the kids who made it to the big leagues versus the ones that ended up taking a seat on the bench. And that factor is being coachable. Being coachable is the willingness to take advice or accept change in the process of improving. For me, it was hard to change my old habits, especially if it infringed on the idea that I wasn't the perfect basketball player or actor. But a concept that I learned in theater of taking a note can help any person slightly more reluctant to change make an improvement in any skill. A NOTE stands for notice, observe, test, and evaluate. Notes in theater are the critiques that a director gives to an actor, much like the annual performance review by an employer, or the tips given to an athlete by their coach. I've used this note strategy within the past year to learn how to play the saxophone in acting, sports, and even in learning TikTok dances. And I hope to now share this secret to coachability with you all. First, we have to N. Notice what our areas of improvement are, because what doesn't get mentioned doesn't get managed. For example, in theater, in many live performances like this one, actors don't get the advantage of having a microphone. Instead, they have to learn how to project or speak really loudly so everyone can understand them, from the people in the front row to Nana in the back row. Until I had joined theater, something as simple as the volume in which I was speaking was something that I had never have even noticed. Next, we have to, observe yourself doing the mistake in the act. The easiest way to do this is record yourself on the phone and then watch it back so that we can understand the roots of what needs to change. For me, I would give my dad the task of recording my old basketball games or record monologues and then watch them back. Next, we test our new method for solving the old problem. In this type of part, in this section, we get to have a little bit of fun. I like to think of myself as a stand-up comedian when I'm trying something new. A stand-up comedian knows that not every joke is going to land. Just like not every new move you make in basketball will result in a new point, or every new acting technique will lead you to be the lead character in your next play. But when we take those risks, we learn something new about ourselves. As an example, in basketball, I was attempting to improve how I drove to the basket layups. And in the process, I ended up learning a cool new behind the back layup move. You never know what you're gonna get. Then finally, we evaluate the efficacy of this new change. Did it make us better? Worse, will it eventually make us better? As an athlete, we look at our season stats, which is like a numerical evaluation of how we played that season. Or as an actor, we can look at the number of roles we've booked. It's important to be able to reflect on those changes, having a quantitative metric to see what we've improved on. Being able to take a note is important because we have to be continuously willing to change in order to make an improvement. I was making the same moves in basketball on my school team, where I was one of the highest scoring players that year, to my summer league team, where I was one of the lowest. And that unwillingness to change showed, especially as the competition got better. And we've seen the difference in success levels in businesses and organizations being able to adapt. Think about during the pandemic, the businesses who were able to pivot the fastest, in-person to virtual, dine-in to takeout, synchronous to asynchronous, were the most successful during that trying time. And while I can't tell you that changing old habits or taking new advice is going to be as easy as learning how to use Zoom, when we take new advice and we take note of our areas of improvement, we can begin to make the changes that we want to see in ourselves and in the world. Thank you.